Someone once said that laughter is the cheapest luxury that anyone can enjoy. And what better way is there to get laughter than these glasses? No, not these glasses. Cartooning. Hi, I'm Bruce Blitz, and welcome to Cartooning with Blitz. And that's what we'll be doing today, creating wacky cartoons. And for our feature of the day, today's going to be something called light tunes, light as in light. And it's a really neat way to see the comic punchline. And we have our doodle trick portion, and you've heard of an Aladdin and his magic lamp. Well, today we're going to do a cartoonist and his magic lamp. Stay tuned. I know you'll enjoy that one. But let's warm up first with a face from the wheel of features. Now, this can create thousands and thousands of faces, and what you do is you spin these wheels, and whatever features come into this area, that's the face we draw. So if you're ready, let's get started. And we'll give this a spin this way, and see what kind of face comes up. Where it stops, nobody knows. That's nose as in nose, N-O-S-E. Now let's see what we get here for the facial outline. Got a guy with a buzz cut. Okay, I'll go with that. And his eyes are shut, and he's got a big nose, and he looks like he's yelling. So let's see what he looks like. And we'll start with his facial outline. Here's his ear. Here's his face, the other ear. And as I said, he's got a crew cut, or a buzz cut. And some stubbly hair right there. And his eyes, well, closed like he's sleeping, or he could be proud. And his nose comes out like that. Now his mouth. Well, that's a big circle with his teeth like this, and his tongue. And all that gets darkened in because it's inside. And that's a great face. Now it looks like he's speaking, or he could be yelling. Some cartoon effects and accessories like he's yelling. And that's a good expression. Now I'll show you how to do some more cartoon expressions. Follow me. I love spinning the wheel of features. You never know what kind of face you're going to get. Okay, now our first sketch today is going to be an expression of someone eavesdropping. You know what eavesdropping is? That's when you're like listening to somebody you're not supposed to be listening. So let's start with a big oval shape right about here. And we're going to have the fella looking this way, but his face is actually going to be facing this way. And I'm not going to draw guidelines, even though we do think of this as a three-dimensional object. I'll lightly put them in because I don't want to. That's it, just like that. You can barely see that. And let's put his eyes in, and one eye's here, and we'll use those guidelines to let us know that it's curved like that. Now, if he's eavesdropping, his eyes would be kind of looking up and off that way. And here's his nose. Noses, well, they don't affect facial expressions at all, so it's not going to matter. Now his mouth, well, he's smiling because he's kind of glad he's listening to somebody. He shouldn't be, but he is. And one eyebrow's down and the other one's up. And here's his ear. And we only see one ear because his head is turned like that. And his hair, well, let's just put some straggly hair in here. Some hair going that way. And now he needs a hand here because a hand is going to help to drive this expression home because he's going to be cupping his ear. We'll start with a shape that's kind of like a square. And here's his thumb, which is behind. And here's his fingers. And that's what makes this work. And his head may be shaking a little bit like that. And that's eavesdropping. Let's do another one. And this one is going to be someone who is just plain knocked out, exhausted, dead out. And we'll start with a different shape, because if we vary the shapes, what happens? That's right, we get different characters. And we'll start with a triangular shape like this. And this fellow will also be looking off this way. And there's his nose, which doesn't do anything, but watch what I do with his mouth. Big long upper lip like that, and a line like that, because his mouth is not very happy. It's like in a frowning motion. And there's his tongue out. Let's even have his mouth open a little bit. So double that line and fill it in black just like that. And his eyes. Well, that's also going to drive this point home, and that is his eyelids are half shut. And see most of his eyes underneath that line. And here's his eyebrows. Some puffiness. And let's make it look like he needs a shave. And we do that with some little diagonal lines going next to each other like that. And here's his ear. And let's give him some hair. If he's exhausted, his hair's all messed up. Now, what's really going to drive this home are cartoon effects and accessories, and we all know what they are. There's little extra doodles around the drawing, some sweat, and some circles like this indicate like he's seeing spots before his eyes, maybe even some swirls, like stars, and this guy's been through it. You know what? I'm going to add a little color to him, and that's also going to further drive this home. And I'm going to be using a little bit of chalk on this one, and I can cover a lot of ground that way for this size sketch. And what I'm going to do here is use a little bit of brown, and I'm going to assume that the light is coming in from the left-hand side. That means that this side would be a little bit darker, wouldn't it? Because it wouldn't be seeing quite as much light. Now, to make this a little funnier, first I'm going to put a little bit of red in the tongue. Some red for the cheeks. I'm going to use blue for his needing a shave. Now, you might say, why blue? Well, because when someone needs a shave, it kind of casts a bluish shadow. So we'll use that. And here's some hair. And I really like that. Use a little bit of red maybe for the swirly effect. And that came out to be a great one. Okay, a couple facial expressions for you. Uh-oh. I feel a tons of pun sketch coming on. I gotta do that. Now, you all know what a pun is, right? A pun is a play on words. And for cartooning, it's a natural because a lot of words have two meanings. And for cartooning, you can illustrate them in visual, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll draw the picture, and then you tell me what it is, all right? It starts with, well, I won't tell you what it is. I'm just going to draw a shape like that. And let's put some eyes in. One there, one there. A big sinister smile. And let's see. Now, let's put him on this, and that'll really tell you what this is. And maybe you can already tell what this is. There's a fella back here behind the wheel. And there's a sketch. Now, tell me what it is. Give up? Okay. It's a windshield viper. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Give myself my own rim shots. Can't beat this. Let's do another cartoon now. And this one is going to be another facial expression, but we're going to incorporate body language. That's very important. And this one is going to have a ghosting effect. Don't get scared. And a ghosting effect means it's going to look like movement. And we're going to draw a woman who's scared. And here's her face. And let's draw her face right here. Windshield viper. You've heard that. Okay, let's draw her mouth. And her expression is she's scared. So we'll have her teeth clenched like that. And her eyes. Well, her eyes are wide open. And her pupils are real small. And that makes that a little bit funnier and works that sketch a little bit more. And now for her body. Well, let's see. Her body's down here. And I said we're going to use body language. So everything comes into play. So let's just have her hands out like this. And they're kind of, her fingers are spread out like that. Maybe she heard a loud noise and she's a little scared. And let's give her some hair. Let's see what kind of hair. Let's give her hair going this way and a flip. Just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do for the ghosting effect is, now watch this. Right over this area here, I'm going to draw another half circle and one there. Now right on the same line as her eyes are, I'm going to draw another set of eyes. And right on the same line as her nose, another nose. And another mouth. Right on the same line as the other features, and do the same thing over here. This is a great sketch, and this is going to show movement. Even though this is just a still drawing on a page, we can still simulate a lot of movement. And if you notice, I'm not drawing these sketches on the side as dark as the one in the center. Right now, she just looks like a three-headed woman, doesn't she? And that's not the effect we want. But if we take this marker and make some swirlies like this, look at that. It's coming to life already, right in front of your eyes. And some lines going this way, and some cartoon effects and accessories like perspiration. If you notice, I put perspiration in all the pictures. I just like to juice up all the pictures. I don't know why I do that, but... And there she is. She's scared to death. And maybe a sound effect like, what? Who? And there she is. She's scared to death. And I like that because it shows movement. And let's see. Let's do another one. Let's do another body pose, another body language expression. And it starts with a shape. And we're going to have the loneliest guy on the block. This poor guy, have a big oval like that for his head. And for his body, well, let's see. Come down like this, and his legs are up like that, and there's his feet. Okay, now let's do his face. Well, his face, he's not happy at all. There's his nose, and big frown, his lower lip's out, and his eyes, well, they're half closed, and there's his eye. That was his eyelid. There's his eyebrow, and here's his ear. Let's give him curly hair. And over here, I'm not going to finish this because I'm going to put his shoulder in. Now, I'll have his shoulder kind of up like that. And that's his sleeve. And here's his arm. And it's resting on the part that we made for the leg. So here's his hand. Comes back with his fingers. There's his hand. Now his other hand, well, we'll just double that line a little bit. And here's his body. And he's sitting on the ground. Now let's thicken these lines up that we made for his legs. See how easy it is once you've got the foundation down. Now here's his feet. And again, we can just double that line for his other foot. And let's have him leaning against the tree, because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. He just looks like he's off balance. And for a tree, you just make a broken line, a couple swirlies for knot holes, put some detail in, some grass, and there he is. He's sitting against a tree, and his body language shows how sad he is, and he's obviously some sweat, and this guy is obviously heartbroken. And here's his heart that's broken. And we'll put that in a thought balloon, and he's thinking that. Now, his expression says it, his body says it, and let's color this guy in because I think it came out so good. See, friends, these are your actors. These are the people to help tell your story. And if you just have all your expressions with everybody happy, looking straight ahead, well, that's not going to work, is it? Put some red for his cheeks, red for the heart. And, let's see, give him some blue. Because how are they going to tell your story if their emotion is always the same thing, happy? Not every situation is like that in real life, and it's not like that in cartoons. And as a cartoonist, it's up to you to make them look right. Use a piece of chalk on this one. Color in his shirt. So when you practice, look in the mirror and make these facial expressions. And then copy what you see, put it down in cartoon-style line onto your paper, and then you'll have the cartoon expression that you need. And by the way, all cartoonists do that. That's not something that you're going to look crazy and I told you to do it. Now, everybody does that. All right, I got another quickie sketch to do, and it starts with a teardrop. And we'll draw a little baby. And a teardrop is something that babies make lots of, right? So there's the teardrop, and that'll be for his body. Now for his head, let's use a really big shape like this that kind of comes out a little bit on the bottom. Now, when you draw little people like this, their features are way down low. There's his nose, and his mouth way down low, almost no chin at all, and a cute puffy cheek like that. Maybe his tongue's out. And his eyes, well, they're down low too. So you have all this area for the forehead. And, well, you got to have a curl coming out. And his ears, well, they're pretty big and they're down low as well. Now, right on top of that teardrop, put a lace collar and no neck. And there's an arm. And here's his fingers, which are very stubby, short fingers. And here let's have him holding a bottle, which is just a cylinder shape with a little bit of detail. That's some milk coming out of it. Now this shape here, we're going to wave that line a little bit and have two ovals coming out like he's sitting. And that's a great little baby. And I put a little color into this fella. Some stars. You don't always have to just scrub color in. You can use your chalks or color pencils to add a little texture this way. Maybe a little bit of color for his face too. And you don't want to just scrub the color in. You notice how I go with the shape? And that way it adds a little bit of white to the right-hand side and creates a highlight or a shine. And there you have it. Okay, let's do another sketch. And this time we'll have two people in the same sketch, interacting together with two different facial expressions. And we'll start with a giant oval right about here, and we'll have a fella and a woman right here that he's talking to. Actually, he's screaming. And here's his nose, here's his upper lip, and his mouth is wide open like that, and his bottom lip is out, and he's screaming. I don't know what he's screaming at. I don't know if he's screaming at her or if he's just screaming in general, but she has to listen to it. And this is a way to have two characters in the same scene. And that's what you want to build yourself up to. So you have his face, now let's put his eyes in. You have his mouth, his eyes, his eyebrows down, and his ear, and his hair. Well, let's give him a shape like that, and some hairs coming out, and some perspiration, and his arm, and let's have her face. A little nose, and a frown, and her eyes. She's listening to this, she doesn't know what it's all about. So you've seen a lot of expressions today, and I told you how to practice them in a mirror. It's a good way. And there you have the two people interacting in the same picture, two expressions. Try that yourself. Now stay tuned for the feature of the day. Now this feature is a lot of fun to do, and it involves the use of an art tool called a light box. And what it is a box with a light in it. Now I know that surprises you, but that's what it is. And I use it all the time, and it allows you to see through a few drawings at the same time. And here it is right here, and I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to show you a sketch that I've done of a fella bending down to pick up his morning newspaper. Not much action, nothing happening, right? But if we put it on the light box, we will see the rest of the story. Now watch. Put the lights down. You can see this up real good. And you see what else is happening here. We have a dog that is biting him, and his teeth are clenched, and we have a sound effect. We even have stars, and his eyebrows are down for the expression. Bring the lights back up, and you see without the light, he just looks like that other sketch again, right? So let's do one together. It's a lot of fun. Put this over here. Hey, this is a light box, you know. Okay, let's try it. And I have it lightly penciled in, and I'll tape it down. And what we'll do is, let's draw a fellow reading the newspaper here. Maybe it's that fellow who got his newspaper finally. And you can come up with lots of jokes. If you think about it, you can just start with an idea and then think of what could happen if you took that sketch a little further. Here's his ear. Here's his eyes. And let's see, we'll have him looking at us. And here's his facial outline. And here's his head. Let's see, we'll give him a couple funny hairs like this. A couple up top. And let's see, here's his collar. And his necktie. And his arm. And he's holding the newspaper. And the newspaper has a headline on it. And it says, let's get the other arm in here first. Okay. Aliens from Mars have landed. Okay, this is the Daily News, N-E-W-Z, in cartoon where we have a little more fun with it. Okay, here's a lamp for a prop, and here's a seat that he's sitting on. Okay, now, let's see the rest of the story. And what we do is we get the light box out again, and we put it down, and we'll turn the drawing over, working from the reverse side, turn the lights down, and we can see the sketch that we've just drawn this way, in reverse. And what we're going to do is add a few elements. Now let's see. Let's take these ears and take them to the max and make real pointy, crazy looking ears. One on this side. And some eyebrows down like this on his eyes. and a big smile. We'll continue that smile line, make it look real sinister. And we're going to even have something that he's saying up here. And you have to work in reverse when you use words. And he's going to say, hi, Earthling. And you might want to have a piece of paper to refer to when you're writing backwards, and that's what I'm doing. Now a T, that doesn't, a T and an H, doesn't matter how you do that one. L-I-N-G, okay. Now, let's put the lights back up, and let's take a look at that sketch from the front again. There he is, sitting there. Again, nothing much happening, guy reading a newspaper. Now we put it back on, a light box, and see the rest of the story. Put the lights down. See? He's the man from Mars. Okay, put the lights back up. Now you can try this one at home. And if you don't have a light box, don't worry about it. You can work by taping your drawings to a window. I do it all the time. But do it in the daytime, otherwise you won't be able to see too much. Next up, cartoon doodle trick. Stay tuned. Okay, now today's doodle tricks have a magical theme to them, and I'd like to welcome my friends today. How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Hey. Okay, now let's start with the letter R for our first one. And R stands for, well, I won't tell you. You'll tell me when you recognize it. Put a circle up there, and a smile there, some whiskers, and let's put an eye right there, and some ears. Who knows? Anybody? Anybody? What is this?
It's a rabbit.
A rabbit, that's right. And what's a rabbit always come out of?
A hat?
A hat, a magic hat. There you have it. Okay. Some smoke. And that's a good warm-up. You like that one?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Got another one for you here. I'll tell you what I'll do. You remember in the beginning of the show I said that we would draw Aladdin and his magical lamp, and I said we would do a cartoonist and his magical lamp. So let's do that right here. And right about here I'm going to draw the lamp. Aladdin found his lamp, and a cartoonist, well, he's got to draw it. And the big handle over here looks like a side view of an elephant, doesn't it?
Sort of.
Here's the handle. And that's it. And there's the lamp. And now we need the genie. So what happens? He has to do what to get the genie?
He has to rub it.
He has to rub the lamp, right. So let's do that. And of course, nothing happens, right? Oh, I know what it is. Got to have smoke, right? Puffs of smoke. So let's draw some smoke. And let's see if that helps. Let's try it. Ready? Rub the lamp. Oh, nothing's happening yet. I don't see anything. Whoa, whoa. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa. There it is. Something's coming up. There it is.
Hey.
You like that?
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll show you how to do this one. What you do is you get a piece of paper and you cut a hole in the center like that, and you insert the picture of the genie. And you mount it on a piece of cardboard, and you cut some holes in the back, and you take a piece of tape so you can slide the drawing upside down. It's a great effect, and you can surprise your family and friends. Unless they've seen the show, and in which case they're going to surprise you, right? So you act surprised, okay? Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today, and I hope everybody enjoyed it, and hope you did at home. And for our Blitz tip today, the first rule of anything creative, I don't care if it's music, I don't care if it's art, whatever it is to just have fun with it. I'm Brusa Blica saying thanks for being with me, and help me out, guys. Keep on cartooning. Right.